Okay, we're going to be doing the box tie that we did at the first Sunday school rope class. It's a variation of a TK that I learned from topologist. So we're going to start with the butt end of our rope, and we're going to do a single column tie over both wrists. Try to have your bottom put their wrists so the inside of their wrists are touching, like she has them here. And then you want to try to pull out the wrists a little bit to get a little bit of separation so you can wrap the rope around. And I'm going to do 2 wraps on my Somerville bowline, bringing it around my hand, taking the bite end of my rope, crossing over, holding it with my thumb. Now I'm taking the long end of my rope, wrapping around my fingers, making a circle, and then pulling the bite end of my rope out, holding it with my thumb, taking my other fingers, passing through where my left hand is, grabbing the bite end of that rope, pulling it through, and then tightening the knot down. And then you should have a loose single column around the wrist like that. And we're going to go from there and continue over the left shoulder, leaving the single column loose. As we go over the left shoulder, you'll come around to the front. If you're tying on somebody with breast, you're going just under the right breast. If you're tying on somebody without breast, you're kind of just going in a straight line. But this is going underneath the right breast, around the back, under the arm. And as we do this tie, you're always going to be passing underneath the ropes in the back. And that's always the first thing you're going to do. So we're going to continue underneath. For now, we're ignoring this rope and just continuing around. As we go around here, we're coming underneath the left breast and up, making an X in the center of the chest. Now as we come around to the back, we're going to go through the cuff. That's why we have such a loose cuff here, so we can continue through that. And now we're going up. And at this point, you want to make sure you have the same tension on both of your shoulder wraps. So run your finger underneath, making sure the tension is the same. At this point now, we're coming up on the left side, and I'm kind of going to squeeze these 2 ropes together, and I'm going to pass over onto the right side, keeping my finger underneath the stem, and we're over on the right side now, and we're going to pass through where my finger is, pulling the rope through and making a little knot there, pulling the stem together. Now, you want that knot positioned in the center of the back between the 2 shoulder blades. From there, we're going to continue on to the left. And as we go to the left, we're passing over the big deltoid muscle here on the shoulder, not going too high so it'll slip up, but also not going too low so it's in a bunch of nerves here. You want to be on the fat part of the muscle there. So continue around, and we're just going to pass over both shoulder ropes, going over the upper part of the arm again. And when we get to the back, we're passing under the stem, and we're just making 1 wrap around the stem, holding the tension on both shoulders. And you kind of want to check that at this point to make sure you're the same. That's a little tight on the right side, so I'm going to adjust. You can kind of just let the knot out a little bit. There you go. So We're going to continue going down the stem as we go, so make sure you don't put your knots down too far so you run out of room. So the first knot is right there. We just wrapped around once. It's actually not even a knot, it's just a wrap. So we're just wrapping around, and the friction of your ropes is going to hold that. So now coming around to the front, I need to extend my rope. So as you come around to the front, you're just following underneath the first set of upper chest wraps, staying in a straight line, trying not to twist any of the rope. We continue around the back. Now at this point, after the second shoulder wrap, we're going to lock off. And how we're going to lock off is we're going to go underneath, and we're going to kind of make two little half moons here. So we're going to go underneath, over the stem, taking my fingers down below the upper chest wraps, grabbing my rope and pulling it up. And then we're going to cross over the upper part of the stem. I'm going to take my fingers going up underneath the chest wraps and pulling my rope down. Now, once we're here, we should be locked off. And so now your tension is set in these two ropes. Now we're going to continue on underneath the armpit, and you want to kind of follow this with your fingers so you don't end up pinching the skin. And we're going to come around to the front, going over the breast. And when we get here, you're going to spread these two ropes that are around the neck, the two upper chest ropes. And we're going to make a triangle shape here in the middle. Now, we're going to take our finger, we're going to stick it through the triangle, and this rope is going to follow the path of my finger and go under and out through the triangle. Once you're there, you're going over and under the rope that's coming out from under the armpit. And then we're going to continue over around to the back. Now, once we get to the back, we're going down behind all of the ropes that are on the left side of the stem. So I'm sticking my finger up behind, grabbing the rope, pulling it down. And we're kind of following the path of that left shoulder wrap. From here, I'm going to split my stem, and I'm going to pull the rope through that. And then we're going to go under the shoulder wraps, or the upper chest wraps on the right, rather. And we're going to continue up over the right side of the shoulder, following the path of this right shoulder. Now when we get here, we're going to go over the upper chest wraps, under and into the triangle. We're going to go underneath the other rope, essentially matching what we did on the other side. So let me do that again so it's more clear what I did there. So I'm coming over the right shoulder, over the upper chest wraps, under and through the triangle, and then I'm crossing over, following my finger. And continuing, adjusting that knot so it's the same, in the same position as the other knot. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you should be pulling the shoulder wraps away from the neck at that point. So once you pull tension on this, you want to make sure that these two knots are generally in the same position. And then we're going up, or we're going under the armpit, coming out again in the back. We're going to wrap once around the stem. Again, just continuing down the stem. And this is just one wrap here. Now we're going to do our bottom shoulder wraps, our bottom chest wraps. This time going over the triceps, making sure there's separation between the upper and lower. And you kind of want to go in a straight line from around the back, straight under the chest. Continuing on the triceps, going under the stem again, continuing to wrap downward, just doing one wrap. And every time you do this wrap, kind of check the tension to make sure that you're the same on both sides. I'm a little bit too tight on this side, so I'm going to let it loose a little bit. And then that's how you kind of tension that down, is with that wrap. Once that wrap's locked down, you can continue the bottom wrap, just staying in a straight line, keeping the rope flat, trying not to put any twists in the rope. Now, we're coming under. Because we've done our second wrap, we're again going to do our lock off. So we're coming under the stem. I'm putting my fingers down below the bottom two ropes, or the two bottom chest wraps. We're going over the stem, under those two ropes, coming out from underneath on the top. And then I'm grabbing the two ropes on the right, or on the left side, and pulling those down. And from there, the tie's finished. If you have extra rope, you can kind of wrap it around the stem a couple times. And then just kind of tucking it in this bundle of ropes here. And so it should look generally like this. You have two wraps, two sets of wraps on the triceps on each side, two sets of wraps on the upper shoulder, deltoids on each side, and the front should look like this.